just a little while, you're going to start to see the cars come down Main Street here and park. And one of those cars is a classic 1969 Trans Am. And its owner says, you never forget your first love.
This is my first car. This is a 1969 Trans Am. They made only 697 of these cars. They made 8 convertibles. I bought it back in '76. I was 17 years old. I seen the car and I thought, wow, this car is sharp. But I really didn't know it was a Trans Am. I thought it might have been. So I bought it for $800 because the guy needed money for tuition for school. So after I bought it, I took it home and I started putting on new fenders, new quarters, and just, it was going to be my cruiser. And I didn't think too much about it, but I thought, you know what? I got to find out if this is a Trans Am. So I sent my VIN number and into Pontiac Motor Division, and they sent me a big pamphlet of all sorts of stuff. And they specified, they go, you have a Trans Am here. And then when I turned 19, I thought, you know what? Because back then there was a lot of car clubs. And I thought, why don't I start a Trans Am club? So I started a Trans Am club, and I called it Tri-City Trans Am Club. And we got about 45 members, and what we did is we did a lot of the parades, local parades. We had just finished the Trans Am show, and it was at one of the local malls. And so we had some of the cars there, and I says, hey, let's go get a nice picture of all the cars. So everyone decides, yeah, we can do that. So we went down to a place where everybody kind of hung out. It was called Arlen's Parking Lot. And this was in 1981. And what we did, we started lining up the cars. We had mine in the front, and then we just angled them out to make a V shape. Then all of a sudden, here come the police. And we're like, oh, great. So he come up and he says, what are you doing? I says, we're just gonna take some pictures here. I said, that's all we're planning on doing. He said, well, okay, after you get done, let's move it out. I'm like, okay. Then I says, hey, can you do us a favor? He's like, what's that? I go, can you come down the center and throw your lights on? He goes, no, we can't do that. I says, oh, okay. So we're still lining them up, and all of a sudden the police looks and he goes, hey, kid. And I look, and he goes, I'm like, all right. So he drove down the road, and he came back, and he came up through the center and threw his lights on, and we snapped the picture. And it's a very nice picture. Actually, I take it to a lot of the car shows, and people just love it. I moved out of state in like '84, and I left it in my parents' garage. So it sat there in their garage for like 35 years. So then when I came home, I decided, you know what, I want to start working on it and bring it back to life. Well, I didn't think I would have all the know-how on to do it and do it right. So I thought, you know, I'll check around and see what I can find. And I got a hold of American Gassers. And I went through their shop, and I'm like, wow, this is who I want to work on my car. So they had it for like 2.5 years. Well, and I kept coming in and like probably every 2 weeks, and they stripped it down, there was nothing. We did a total restoration. I still remember the first time they came over. I called them up and I said, hey, I got a car I'd like you to restore for me. And they said, sure, yeah, what do you have? I says, a '69 Trans Am. He goes, a what? I go, 69 Trans Am. He goes, are you sure? I says, I'm positive. So he come out, and I open the garage door, and he goes, wow. And I says, what? He goes, I've only seen him in a magazine. This is the first one I've seen. He said, we'd love to work on your car. And look at the results. I mean, they brought it right back to life. It's awesome. I told my wife, I says, well, when I get it redone, I'm gonna keep it 2 years and I'll get rid of it. Well, it's been more than 2 years and I still can't do it. I just love that this is my first car. And it's hard for people to believe because now I just turned 67 and now I've owned the car for 50 years. You know, I remember after the football games, taking it out, cruising around, and then going to the drive-in, and all that just comes back. Every time I get into this car, I feel like I'm 17 all over again. The only thing that happens is I'll look in the rearview mirror and go, who is that old guy?